even need. Let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say. If you recall, in Delta State, you saw how a drama went on there. Official defection to APC. In that podium that was in Delta State, you will see men who have been convicted by Supreme Court for bribery and corruption in dollars in the name of integrity. You will see men that have been known to be pocketing dollar in their danchiki openly, looking at whether anybody is seeing them.
That is Kenneth OKONKWO there for you, blowing very hot on those Nigeria evil politicians that say that they don't care about the feelings or anything that is happening in Nigeria. The only thing they care right now is 2027 election. They have come out Northwest that, that are suffering the most. Their politicians has come out to endorse Tinubu that there is no vacancy in Aso Rock. Now, are we no longer practicing democracy, or is it autocratic system of government that we are practicing in Nigeria this time around, that there's no more vacancy in the Aso Rock? Anyway, as we are talking now, people are being killed in Benue State, in Agatu, and in Plateau State. But those politicians, they don't care. 2027 is their target. Whatever is happening to me and you is none of their business. What do you think? Remember, your best teacher is your past. If you don't learn from your past, do you still have brain? Oh, young one. Let's continue listening to Kenneth OKONKWO. Yes, let's continue listening to him in his Arise interview. Ngwan.
To discuss the Northwest adoption of President Tinubu as sole candidate is Kenneth OKONKWO, a lawyer and spokesperson for the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election. Welcome to the morning show, Mr. Kenneth OKONKWO, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, viewers, for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Bati. Thank you, Rufai. And thank you, Vimbai. I don't want you to laugh too much today, so I would not ask you to be our young Nigerian wife.
Anyway, very quickly. Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, the chairman of the APC, had told us previously that 2027 is a done deal. And we've seen a gale of defections. Now, the North, that people used to say, oh, Northerners have rejected Tinubu. Now we have the governors of the Northwest, the senators, the lawmakers from the Northwest, all of them saying there is no vacancy in Aso Rock in 2027. So maybe Ganduje is right then to have said that 2027 is a done deal for the APC. What do you think?
Well, let's first of all commence this program by reminding us what Martin Luther King Jr. said. He said, everyone must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. Our leaders, they are now very known worldwide for making a decision. They are now very known worldwide for making a decision to walk in the darkness of destructive selfishness. You can imagine a people that are consumed by insecurity. This morning, 15 persons have been killed in Agatu, local government of Benue State. In Northwest, they have become a basket case, have the highest number of out-of-school children. They are the poorest. And then what people busy themselves to do is to be talking about an election that is 2 years from now. Let me tell you, those sycophants that you saw there, they're not up to 1,000. All the political leaders in the Northwest, they're not up to 1,000. The population of Northwest in Nigeria is about 67 million persons. About more than 60 million persons. About 27% of the entire Nigerian population. Democracy is the government of the people. not the government of APC or some sycophants in the Northwest who are not interested in the welfare and security of their people, but in how to acquire power and money. It is shameful. We are not even up to 2 years of this regime, and people are consumed about who will be the next president in the next election. I tell you honestly, I feel disgusted. But like I said, they've made a choice to be walking in the darkness, pure darkness of destructive selfishness. These are people that steal what they don't even need. Let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say. If you recall, in Delta State, you saw how a drama went on there. Official defection to APC. In that podium that was in Delta State, you will see men who have been convicted by Supreme Court for bribery and corruption in dollars in the name of integrity. You will see men that have been known to be pocketing dollar in their danchiki openly, looking at whether anybody is seeing them. Those same people are still being called by their states to give accounts of their stewardship as governor, and they are evading by all means unknown to go and answer for what they have done. Their surname is now classified as dollar. And you saw some people there who are invited by EFCC to give accounts. So there you are seeing association of professional criminals made up of suspects, made up of accused, made up of convicts. These are facts. Are these people the people you think that will give you light of creative altruism? I have now known the philosophy of APC. In Delta State, their spokesperson came out and mentioned the ideology. They say they are taste of palm wine politicians. And let me tell you something about palm wine. My father was a traditional chief and had a DOC, a palm wine tapper, that brings palm wine for him in the morning every day, the one that the bottom has not reached the ground, or swell. And that palm wine, if you don't refrigerate it, it can change taste more than 20 times in a day. And if you allow it to stay a day or two, it will be so strong you can use it to make local gin, kai kai. So these are politicians that are unstable like water. I guarantee you that a lot of them will work even for the opposition come in the next 2 years, because they are taste of palm wine politicians. They say when the taste of palm wine changes, they also change. So you are talking about chameleon.
Okay.
Who work.
All right, Mr. Okonkwo, I know today we don't have that much time with you, so I just want to step in at this point. I was reading an article, an interview granted by a senator who just defected from NNPP to APC. And in his estimation, he says, there are no parties, there are no ideologies, it's just the alphabet. The only thing that differentiates the political parties in Nigeria are letters of the alphabet. Now, in this instance, you're somebody who has come from Labour Party. We see the issues happening inside Labour Party. There's APC, which is now being accused of dangling the carrot, offering contracts and all sorts of juicy goodies for people to come and defect. There's PDP, which has its own issues. What's the way forward? Because it seems that all of the political parties are made up of the same people who, as you have called them, are palm wine drinkers who change drinking pattern several times of the day. What's the way forward for the Nigerian citizen?
You know, like I said, I wanted to conclude on the fact that the election in the Northwest is going to be determined by 60 million persons, not by 1,000 sycophants. The way forward is very simple. You have known that I got disgusted with what even the opposition parties are doing. But thank God, the election of 2027 is going to be between the people of Nigeria and the ruling party, because democracy is the government of the people. The way forward is that there is a need. You know, there is a saying that your biggest teacher is your last mistake. In 2023, the opposition made the mistake of dividing themselves, and then a minority party that got about 37% of the vote now became a ruling party. And you can see the destruction they are making. The way forward is that the opposition should come together in a coalition. And when they come together, they will give Nigerians the alternative in integrity, in character, in learning, in knowledge. And I'm telling you, Nigerians will speak. And Nigerians must remember that in Nigeria today, when you vote, you have to defend your vote. So Nigerians must come together. The opposition must come together, set their house in order, and then take out this government that has become a scourge on the Nigerian people.
Okay, I'd like to ask you this. The Punch newspaper ran with a story today that some people are saying Atiku wants to give Peter Obi a running mate ticket for a one-term presidency. What's your take on Atiku and such arrangements like that? Anyway, Atiku camp offers Obi VP role in a one-term deal. What's your take on things like that? Secondly, you say parties have ideology. Can you tell me the ideology of the Labour Party that you were part of? Because, take for instance, I'll give you an instance. Labour is supposed to be pro-workers. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party was a proper capitalist to the core. There was a diversion of ideology in terms of who Peter Obi was and what is supposed to be the Labour Party ideology. So tell me, and I asked this question to Peter Obi many times, tell me what's the ideology of the Labour Party? Because if a capitalist, par excellence, is running on a Labour Party that believes in workers' rights, are very social in its outlook, then there's a diversion of ideology. So tell me what the ideology of Labour Party is, and tell me what you think about this Atiku Abubakar, saying he wants to offer Peter Obi a deal, VP, for a one-term deal.
Well, you see,
We have come to the conclusion of the interview. You watching, what do you think? Do you actually think that everything he said there is the truth? But the politicians are so wicked and evil. You know, they are exactly what Kenneth described them, you know, pine wine. Yes, taste of pine wine. That immediately you get pine wine from up now, it changes taste every minute, it changes taste. This is Nigerian politician for you. You cannot rely on them for anything. In fact, we have to learn from our past. Otherwise, we are not going anywhere. We are just, you know, deceiving ourselves, you know, rigmarousing, deceiving ourselves, building castles on the air. You know, things can never change. And remember, the change begins with you and me. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please do well to give this video a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. And see you in my next update.